Hello, welcome in. Good to see you. Yes, this is my real voice. You don't have to worry about last week's atrocious sounding thing that it was. But this is going to be officially episode 1. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. I am joined by usually Nick Nack and Hermes Akumu. As you can see from the new feature in the Twitch title, if you guys want to hop over there, follow those lovely gentlemen. You can do that easy. You can get to their Discord links, whatever links they have on their channels. It's kind of a cool new feature that I am kind of geeked about, that they just told me about 20 minutes ago. So it's kind of great. How are you guys doing? How's your week? I know you guys were talking about how fast it was going, but how was it overall for you? Either one.
Nick, you first.
Oh yeah. So I was like crying all week. You know, we had to wait a couple extra days for the Last of Us episode, and the Legend of Vox Machina season 2 ended, which there were so many tears.
Valentine's Day.
I was alone.
Single Awareness Day.
You know, that stands for sad, right?
Yeah. God, that's so good. I didn't notice that until somebody had spelled it out. Like I saw it in the chat and I was like, holy shit, that is actually sad. So that's
I saw it
funnier.
on a TikTok the other day.
It is funny.
I had spent this entire time just thinking it was just that, not an acronym. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Hermes, what about you?
It's been a good week. Full with Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
Grinding through that. Honestly, Hogwarts Legacy and a lot of good booze this week.
Really? No
Yeah.
bullet whiskey or anything, right?
No, God,
That's
no.
good. That's good. Okay, because that guy's a piece of shit.
True.
For context, apparently the owner of Bullet Whiskey disowned their daughter because she happens to be a lesbian. Terrible people out there, man. Absolutely shitty. But on brighter news, did you guys do anything for Valentine's Day? I just wanted to ask you both. Anything happened that day, or was it just a normal day? I know somebody played a specific game. I don't know if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, I can go again. Yeah, I streamed on Valentine's Day. Normally I do my taxes. But this year I played I Love You,
Spice it
Colonel
up a little
Sanders,
bit.
a finger-licking dating simulator or something, whatever it's called. And it was just a one-man show. It was hilarious.
That's so good. So there's a lot of parts to read in that game, yeah?
It's all reading.
So you put on a show for everybody, I'm assuming.
Oh, it was so good.
That's good.
Stretch those voice actor muscles.
Yeah, I
dig it.
know.
I did. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's good. That's good.
And I
Hermes,
woke up with a voice the next day. Let's go.
Did you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did you finish it, or are you going to go back and play?
I finished it. I had KFC afterwards, and that was the worst part of my decision-making skills.
No
Yeah,
way.
It was
Like,
so gross.
You set the
Yeah, dude.
you set the mood.
I was like, this is gonna be great.
That's amazing.
Oh, it was nasty, man. I've never had such, but like it was just 99% like crust and like 1% hard stringy chicken in the middle. It was disgusting. Oh my god.
Oh,
It's so good. Well, I'm
That's what I
very
get
happy for
10 a
you.
night. Yeah.
I'm very, very happy for you. It sounds like you had a great night.
Yeah.
Hermes, what about you?
had some wine, and I've been watching this show that's new to me. It's old in general, but it's called Superstore. And
Okay.
anybody out there who's ever worked at a Walmart or like major retail location, watch this goddamn show. It's the funniest shit ever.
It's always better when it can relate. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like to what you're doing
know,
currently.
my God.
Yeah.
It hits home. It's like, oh, that happened last week.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Some of the jokes hit better because you're like, I
Yep.
get it. I completely understand. That's awesome. I mean, as the married individual here, Valentine's Day is kind of, it's not as, I don't want to say as special it used to be, but it's still a day that you try to focus on, right? But it's not what it used to be, and that's not in a bad way. That's more like we have a daughter now, and it's kind of it is what it is. Not we're like, hey, let's go have a fancy dinner, and she's like, well, I only eat mac and cheese, and you're like, okay, well, so do a couple of my friends, but you know, it was
mac and cheese.
It was a good time.
Did she do like the little shoebox exchange at school?
Oh, I love
the
those.
Yeah.
Valentine's?
They
was so
actually,
fun.
yes, they did that at preschool, and that's her second time do it because she's her second year preschool this year. But they gave candy to each other, so she had this giant bag she brought home with all the Valentines and the candy. And some people, you can tell the parents who are all-star parents, I guess is what you could say, but some
No.
people might say other words, but is they just go over and beyond what they need to do. They send a good bag and it's got like a bunch of shit in it, and it's like a lot of the kids don't even write their own names. My daughter, we were like, no, you're gonna write your name. She's like excited to do it. It's just, you can tell the parents who put a little bit too much time into these Valentines, but I mean, she's happy. She gets the candy and the rest of the shit goes in the trash, right? So it is what it is. She doesn't want to keep it. We have a little mailbox outside of her room that we will randomly put like letters or notes or something in. She'll check it in the morning, and she loves that stuff. Absolutely loves it.
Do you use that for the Tooth Fairy?
I don't know. We haven't decided, but that's a great idea. That's a really good idea.
That would be so good because then you don't have to accidentally wake her up. Wow.
Right. You have to do anything. Go put it under her pillow, or it loses. Maybe she tosses and turns, and it's just gone. That's a very good point. That's a good point. I'm gonna have to tell my wife about that one.
It was your idea.
It is. I'm taking all credit. So thank you. So getting into it, it's a slow week. I think we talked about this as well. It's not a huge week for news specifically. A couple exciting things launched. Well, not launched, but at least reviews for a large hardware item came out. I wanted to talk about the best-selling consoles because of the Nintendo Switch kind of moving up that list as it does. There's also a larger conversation I wanted to have with you guys is the greatest video game character discussion. It like you mentioned earlier, Nick Nack, it doesn't have to be your favorite isn't necessarily the greatest in your opinion, so that kind of will be a good conversation. Hermes, I know you wanted to check out the Atomic Heart trailer that dropped.
Yes.
So we'll watch that today as well. I think it's because of the individual that's in it and a little bit of a joke.
Throb.
Yeah, a little bit of the joke that goes on at the beginning too. So, and then last but not least, two things actually, three. I'm sorry. AMC. I want to talk about them charging for premium seats. And Lies of P gameplay trailer that just came out. I think it's their final trailer for that game. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but I want to check that out. And then also, last but not least, the YouTube CEO stepping down. New person is the chief product officer, and we're going to talk about conflict of interest and things like that and what that can look like and stuff. So, somewhat of a packed episode, not normally, not heavy hitter topics, but should be a good conversation regardless. So let's get into it. Let's just do, I'm going to read from an article for the best selling consoles. If you guys don't mind, this is from Polygon. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up too, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Nintendo Switch is officially the third best selling console of all time. The latest sales figure placed it ahead of the PS4 and the Game Boy. So that's kind of putting in context right there already. That's insane to me. I haven't looked in to see if these are, I'm assuming it's the Nintendo Switch family and not because there's a Lite, then there's the new model of the OLED version. So I'm assuming it's the family because that would just get too confusing if you were to do that. But as Nintendo's latest financial results have confirmed the milestone for Nintendo Switch sales that we knew was coming, but this is still a major achievement. The hybrid handheld was racked up over 122 million sales in its lifetime, placing it ahead of PlayStation 4, which was 117 million. And Nintendo's own Game Boy, 118 million, is the third best selling console of all time. Right ahead of the Nintendo Switch, only PlayStation 2 at 155 million and Nintendo DS at 154 million have sold more. When I read that, what are your thoughts? I mean, I want to hear, there's a couple handhelds in there. There's a couple like PlayStation consoles in there. Give me your thoughts, Nick Nack. What do you got?
I mean, PlayStation 2 was like, it was the console that I used in the like formative of like, this is why you want to love video games. It had Rock Band, it had Dragon Ball Z Budokai.
Oh my God.
It had Kingdom Hearts. It literally like any genre you want, it had it and it excelled at it.
Right. I very much agree. It's not my favorite, but it is what I played the most on during that generation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's absolutely, it was like, hey, my friends have this. They have games. They have memory cards. They have controllers. There's multi-taps. Everybody was familiar with it.
And when the PS2 Slim came out, could you imagine? Yep. Yeah, that was insane.
Oh, the Slim is crazy. And I kind of, is that the first time that happened? Like mid-generation Slim version, right? I can't think of there wasn't a Dreamcast Slim. It didn't live.
Didn't they squish the GameCube really to make the DS?
True. Yes, yeah, they put it in your hands, right? I think that's true. That's a good point. But I don't think Hermes. I don't know. What do you think when you hear about those stats? I guess those sales.
I mean, I am not a Nintendo person. My first thought is, oh, of course it's up there. You know how long these fuckers have been on the shelves?
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
Nintendo hasn't released anything new in years.
Right. So maybe that's to their benefit. But I think didn't we talked about this last week of how old the Switch was? Didn't we come up with 2017? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
2017. Yep. So that's on a 5-year, a 5-year span of 122 million sales is kind of,
to put it in
insane.
Perspective, these have been on the shelves since I've been like my last year of high school.
Christ. Okay, that makes me feel like super old, but I appreciate it.
I got a few gray hairs right there. Listening to that.
But still, like, of course it's up there because it's their only console.
Right. I completely understand, and I think the different, how many households have multiple, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's another big thing is I'm sure you have a Nintendo Switch that you keep connected to your TV, but then you also have the light that you take on the road with you or something like that. Or kids. I mean, it's perfect for kids. I mean, my daughter uses it more than we do. And I have contemplated getting another one, right? She can use the light. That's great. She'll play it. And then I can play with her on the TV or whatever it will be. So I just, I've thought about it, but I haven't pulled the trigger there. So
if it's out for another, if it's out for like another 1-2 years, you think it can make up that 30 million?
30 million now? No.
Honestly, I think it still has a way too large of a price tag for what it is.
Million. Yeah.
Even with
that's why I haven't bought one.
Oh shit. So I don't think so. I think here's the thing. I think they can make up a big dent. 30 million is a lot, right? Especially for, I mean, that game's who knows when they're going to do the Switch Pro or whatever the hell they're going to call it. The 4K.
Looks like, they've been averaging 20-25 million per year right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we could see what 2023 is going to do, especially with a huge title like Breath of the Wild, or like Tears of the Kingdom. Same thing happened with Breath of the Wild, right? If it launched in the holiday season instead of like Tears of the Kingdom and then holidays were like 6, what is it? Because it comes out in May, yes?
Yep.
Yeah, so it comes out in May. I think if it was a holiday game that came out and they were like, here, buy a Switch bundled with this, I think then you'd see a bigger dent.
But it's like graduation present time.
Oh, dude, no, you're not kidding either. I'm trying to make up scenarios where it's going to make it a success.
I don't want to root for it. I want something better.
It's going to be, nobody buy it. Stop buying it. Yeah. So I think, honestly, it's going to be a success anyways. That's a console selling game for most people. So at least a title that is very well known to a lot of people as well. But when I look at number 1 and number 2, those are massively different things. Right?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like the PS2, 155 million consoles sold for that. That is absolutely insane. And I don't know what the average price of those were over its like span, but the DS had to have been cheaper.
I think I got my DS at a price tag of like 120. I think
120 was it? Okay. That's right.
That could have been the Game Boy SP. But they were around similar prices. I remember that.
So I mean, price not really a big deal, but it was just the fact you could take one on the road. What was the biggest title on the DS? Did you had a DS, right? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Did Hermes have one too?
Yeah, I did.
I never owned a DS. So what would have been the game or games, or is it just multiple over the course? Like what was the big titles for that?
It had the only Legend of Zelda game I've ever played, and that was Sands of Time or something like that.
Oh, Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah, Phantom Hourglass. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it
Okay.
had Nintendogs. I remember that did
Yep.
pretty decent. It had Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. I think did that start on the DS?
I think so.
Yes.
It's a pretty
Also
big
Animal
series.
Crossing.
Animal
After the
Crossing.
GameCube, Animal Crossing went DS.
It did. Yep.
Okay, so and obviously
Obviously
there
all
were
the
Pokemon
Pokemon
games.
games.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
Pokemon games, which obviously. So which ones were on the DS? Which
All of
Pokemon
them.
specific?
Diamond Pearl for sure.
Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
Wow.
Um.
Okay.
Well, that was it because I think X and Y moved to 3D.
Yep. Yes, it did.
Yeah, those were not. Yeah, okay. I remember X and Y. I think I was
I-
at GameStop at that point. I don't know if I don't know why I remember that, but I don't remember.
I played X and Y on my 2DS, so
Okay, got you. Okay.
that puts
So-
that into perspective.
I mean, are those Pokemon games have to be well regarded? If I usually hear those pretty often, I think. Right?
You heard them most often, most recently because they just got remade.
Okay. Okay, that might be part of it too. I didn't know if they were up there in like top 5 of Pokemon games that have ever launched or not. I don't know. You personally, I guess, as the Pokemon
They are pretty high selling. No, they were.
Yeah. Okay.
When was
Platinum
Ruby?
sucked as far as sales though, which is a bummer.
Was Platinum and Ruby at the same time?
No, so Ruby Sapphire was on the Game Boy, and they released Emerald. The third versions always do really poorly for them, but in my mind, they're the better game because
Gotcha.
Okay.
you don't you get the best parts of the versions and then a new story. But anyway, I could go on a Pokemon tirade. Don't let me.
Do you think anything ever touches PS2? Do you think there's anything even close to it?
Ooh,
Or do you
I'd
think the
love to
Switch
see
keeps
where the
going?
Steam Deck goes.
Yeah, that's very true.
Okay. Do you think it's too pricey to get to that point?
It is pricey
It's what, like $500, $500-$600?
Oof. Fuck.
for
a
the
Steam
small
Yeah, right.
storage, right?
Yep.
But so is the same of every next gen console. That's not the
Yeah.
Switch.
That's a good point. Yeah. Maybe
And
the Switch can get
no.
there. It all depends on how long they're going to ride this out, right? Ultimately, I think because if I'm not mistaken, the PS2, how long was the PS2
Lifespan.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm gonna make a guess. I'm gonna say 7 years. No, that's too long. 6 years.
so
guess.
it
I
was
think
it
console
continued to be
generations-
produced until 2013. It was 12 years of production.
12 years.
Yeah, I think console generation production wise, it's pretty 10 is kind of where they sit.
Right. And now recently with all the mid-tier like upgrades, like the Xbox
Yeah.
One X was like a mid-tier 4K upgrade, right?
So
Um,
when did PS2 come out, and then when did PS3 come out?
the PS2 would have been 2001.
Okay, and then PS3.
PS3 was like 20.
So like, was it able to compete on its
2000
own before next
and-
gen?
Holy well, I'm trying to. Well, also you have to think the PS3, and I think this might bolster the sales of that. Is the PS3 was also like $600 when it came out.
Wait,
right?
when did the PlayStation 2 come out?
Had to have been of 2001.
Because the PS3 came out in 2006.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been 2006 with the
Mm.
Xbox 360.
Oh, 2000
Oh, it was
was
2000.
PS2.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So it did have 6 years on the market before something else
But 12 years of
came
production.
in. But 12 years of production.
But I think that also that production was due to the lackluster introduction to the PS3. $600. You know, it was huge, it was bulky, it was, it was all that. So I know that was kind of a down era. So maybe that boosted.
Do you remember if they were releasing PS2 and PS3 games at the same time? Like
Yes.
compatible on
Yeah,
both?
they were.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did that stop? I don't know. That's a hard Google
Well,
search.
some of the PlayStation 3s from like original production
They
were
were
backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Those are
Because I remember my
hard to
family
find now.
always having to have that one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Those are called the fat ones, the fat PS3s, because they have the backwards compatible chips in them, and they they were those chips by themselves, because it also I might be mistaken on this. I don't know if it was just PS2 and also PS1. But man, that is those systems today are hard to find, and when you do, they're like people are paying like $300 for them.
Oh shit! Don't tell my mom that, please.
Well, I'm just saying. I think I have. That's the thing, is I think I have told your mom that in the past. But it's kind of insane. I'll switch over here to this since we don't really need to read that article anymore. But yeah, I don't know. Back to the original question of the Switch. I don't think the Switch, depending on how long. What's that?
Read what Mama Moss just put.
Still hooked to the TV. That's right. Nice. I don't think the Switch gets there. But also, that's me not knowing how long this life cycle is going to continue. Maybe they're happy.
It closes the gap for sure. I think it gets another 10, 15 million units. But
I think so too. I think it's definitely gonna go over the 130. I think that's probably what we'll see.
I would love their next console to be fucking cheaper, to be honest with you.
So
or at least more powerful, because like I cannot pay like $330 for 720p. I won't do it.
That's what you're at. So here's that. That leads. It wasn't on the schedule for us talking about it, but what do you want to see from the next Nintendo console? Like, is that something you want? Is that something you guys want to see? Handheld? Is that something you're willing to give up for it to be cheaper, but also more powerful to sit, on a TV?
Honestly, I would love the Switch in general is a good idea,
right?
But a maybe slightly more affordable or just a little bit higher than what they're already at. And I know your games don't need it, but give 4K. Because like everybody uses their consoles nowadays as streaming platforms.
Some of those
like to
games
watch streaming stuff.
4K though. Let's be honest. We had this conversation with my poor audio last week. So I think they have to go 4K, right? They can't go 1080p. They cannot.
Yeah,
so I feel like you're like, look at our new system. Hey, we can play these 10-year-old TVs can do the same thing.
Imagine if you could watch Netflix on your mobile Switch.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That would be amazing. You'd sell a ton.
Right. And that
would be sweet.
I think that's what Steam Decks do, right? They can play your Steam library. I think they have Game Pass on them as well. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have those apps like Netflix and those other things.
I mean, a Steam Deck is literally what? It's like a 2070 graphics card computer, but in the palm of your hand.
I don't know that, but it does not have issues running games well. Is kind of that's the takeaway for it.
Yeah. And it's only a little bigger than the Switch. It's not
I wonder how heavy
super
it is.
Different. I don't know.
I can find that.
But
out.
for the Nintendo thing, apart from the console, these next gen prices that they're charging, I'm maybe a little hot take. I'm fine with it because their reasoning is they're giving devs an across the board raise from that.
Okay, so it's more money into their pocket. It's not just
like
more money.
Yeah, if it's like what was it, $10 extra than it was going to be, and the devs get to be a little happier, do it.
Right, I agree. Yeah, then that's fine if it's going to the right people. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I guess that is one thing that I will say I do like about Nintendo is their games always release pretty okay in comparison to the other consoles, just because they leave them in the oven longer and don't announce shit before it's ready.
Yeah, they don't have these misses where they have to stop service a month or two in and then the game's dead.
Right. So the weight, the Nintendo Switch is 0.88 pounds with the Joy-Cons on. The Steam Deck is twice as heavy at 1.65 pounds.
Come on.
So, I mean,
you can't lift 1.5 pounds. Come on.
Yeah, you can't hold it like this. Come on. What are you doing?
Also, you're holding a computer. Like, of course, it's going to be heavier.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's a very, very good point. Yeah, man. I don't think anybody closes that gap. PS2 is kind of insane. Even I'll kind of lump them together, even though it's a 1 million unit difference. But the DS is just, I think we're out of that age where Nintendo had a DS and a console, right? They had a handheld and a console. They just were like, we're going to make the same thing. So depending on the longevity of that Switch, if they don't have anything coming up, I think, it could close the gap if they're 2 years out of a new console still. So We'll have to see. We will see. The Steam Deck proves that you can do things at a high quality, and people will still buy it, I think. Next on the list, let's go ahead and do this. I want to, Nick, I know you more so than I think Hermes and both of us. And by the way, I'm gonna quick note here is I failed to do the intro correctly. I meant to go Hermes, Mr. AA Akumu. And then I also meant to go usually puzzle game knickknack, but I didn't, and I failed to do that. And I just saw my notes, my personal notes, and I kind of failed that. So I apologize to both of you.
You want to start over real quick?
Yeah, let's run it back.
Welcome to Split Screen episode 1.
But as the movie goer, the more consistent movie goer for us, at least for Split Screen in general, I wanted to get your take on an article, and this again is from Polygon, so I'm going to hop over here. We'll read this real quick, and I want to get your takes from it. Okay. Shout out to Matt Patches, by the way, at Polygon. AMC theaters to start charging more for their best seats in the house. Great world building terminology, maybe not so great real life business change. COVID-19 pandemic wreaked havoc on the movie theater business, which is within Stimulus, Triumph, Avatar, of the Way of the Water, and catering to the most of this year's Oscar nominees at the box office is still climbing back to some semblance of normalcy. But just because the movies are back doesn't mean the business has steadied. If anything, AMC Theaters' new decision to charge more for decent seats forecast a future where everything is for sale in order to stay afloat. If you don't know what they're talking about, they're basically going to be tiering off and giving different tiers for seats. If you have ever gone to a movie and you show up early and you're like, I'm getting the best ones, if you don't purchase your seat ticket, they're going to charge you more money for these center seats, if you will, which are the hot ones, the kind of dead center, not the very front, not the very back, not in the two sides as well. So I don't go ahead, Nick. You understand the concept. It's pretty generalized. They're paying it's pay to win movie viewing. I think it's really what it is. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
This is a movie theater. This is not a theater for a play where there's a correct viewing angle and a correct spot where the sound is centralized and balanced for. A movie theater is a giant screen because you're paying a smaller ticket price to enjoy from anywhere in the theater where you have good sound and good viewing. Yeah, the edge, you have to crane your neck a little bit, or in the front, obviously you have to come back. This is a dumb thing. Before in the before COVID times, I think there were only 3 states. Yeah. I think there were only 3 states in the US where movie theaters were flourishing. They were adding theaters, not removing them. They were actually doing well. 47 states where movie theaters are failing means the business is failing.
Yeah.
Right. And then so we come from where most of them were closed for a better part of a year and a half. They get to open where there wasn't really anything coming out. So they're still losing money. And then this movie comes through that is now, I think, the 3rd best all-time movie, all grossing whatever stupid James Cameron thingy award he gets to win. I think just whatever. This is not going to make up the money that they're lost. Like right. You're going to have to close down theaters. This is going to make it faster because people will not want to go to it.
Yeah.
I think they said the outsides were going to be cheaper. As well.
Then that just evens everything back out to where you were. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's
if I'm and also for I think because Stubbs members, the AMC program that you can sign up for, this is not an ad.
Definitely
not. You don't get hit with these prices because you pay your monthly fee.
Got you. Okay.
And so that means that your seat is still cheaper. So no matter what, I think they're losing money on this thing.
Right.
And they're just going to try and hit it so that, this family just came in for like a holiday movie. Woohoo. We're going to charge them $18 a seat or whatever it is.
Right.
It's a dumb idea.
It is absolutely a stupid idea. It does nothing but, and this might, it hurts the people.
It's a little classist.
Yeah, right.
No, it
Isn't
is.
it like,
It
hey,
is,
I'm going to
yeah.
spend more money to have the best seats? You're like, har, right? So I think, for me, I don't go to a movie theater. I would if it came down to, there's two that I go to in my area. One is a little bit of a drive, and the other one is closer in town. So the one that I go to, that I prefer to go to, is a Cinemark. Reclining seats. I can buy my tickets online before I get there. I can have them printed out as I walk up and do everything, and it's just easy, right? I can buy my snacks there, and they can have them ready for me, whatever it is.
You can get alcohol there.
You can
I
get
love that
alcohol there,
theater.
which is pretty great.
It's not my theater of choice, but I love that theater.
Right. And then there's a little bit more, there's a second choice, which is a little bit more hometowny kind of a thing. Where it doesn't have those options, right? You show up, you go sit down, where you get there early to get a good seat. That's the way it's always been. So I think if you care enough and you want to dedicate the time to go to this movie theater to get a better seat, I think you should. Obviously, you're putting in that time. Just because you don't have the money to do it, you have the time to do it. That's not less valuable, in my opinion. So,
See, I've always been the home theater boy. Like, I would rather go to my local theater that I helped through the pandemic.
true. That's a good point.
Yeah, than go to somewhere huge where you can't even get free refills, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Super
we have
corporate.
we have an AMC in our area as well, but I refuse to go there because it's, get this, some of the theaters don't have carpet.
Yeah.
It's
sticky.
It's cement.
sticky.
It is so run down these days.
But yeah,
I haven't been there in many, many years.
The theater that I'm specifically talking about is independently ran too.
Mm-hmm.
And during the
An
pandemic,
indie theater.
yeah, during the pandemic, they like sold popcorn like on like the side of the drive up, and
Right
we filled
on.
my entire hatchback with popcorn.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
I have my favorite theater is the Alamo Drafthouse.
Never been, want to.
Oh my god, I love them so much. But during pandemic, they did meal kits and drink kits that you could go pick up.
Yeah, that's
which
exactly
is like,
what
love it.
this one did.
God, that's so good.
But I'm not a marketing guy. I don't know a lot. Okay, so let's
Yeah,
season
you
that
got
with that. But I feel like the better way to get people in theaters are these Tuesday and Wednesday discount days.
Yep,
we're like, hey,
100%.
or when they've lengthened the matinee shows to not be before noon, but now they're the first like 2 or 3 showings of a movie, which is something I'm seeing now.
Right. Okay.
Every once in a while, I'll see discounted double features.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'll do that shit all day.
Get people in and incentivize them to get in, because your snacks aren't going to be any cheaper. And they're going, like, who doesn't go to the movie theater and not buy something?
It's hard to. It's very difficult to do that. Be like, I'm going to go sit, not even one, especially 2, if you do the double feature, like, how are you not going to buy popcorn?
Unless you're 3 kids in a trench coat, you don't have the room for all the snacks you need to bring.
There's no shot.
Yeah.
No shot. I think we're all in agreement. This is kind of a stupid idea.
It's also on the tails of their little AMC stock thing.
Right.
They put all of their energy into making that work because Reddit was making it work for them.
It was. They're paving the way.
Nick, have you seen the Brennan Lee Mulligan ticket stub CEO one?
Oh yes, yeah.
It feels like that
from the college university. Yes, yeah.
Beach, we'll have to send you that video.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I can't remember that one.
Also, here's my teeny tiny Ant-Man review, because I did already see it. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Interesting.
That's kind of a little bit better than what critics are giving it, right? So, but a little bit worse than what audience is giving it.
It's because I love Paul Rudd. Yes,
okay.
yeah.
So
we don't have to go into it.
Okay.
We don't have to go into it.
I would love to. I'm going to see it here soon, so maybe we can do a topic on that one. That'd be awesome.
We revisit.
But I appreciate that non-spoiler, unless that's a huge spoiler. Maybe I just don't know.
No.
6 out of 10.
I just wanted to say teeny tiny review.
Okay, got it. But yeah, AMC, you're kind of losing touch. So next, I want to talk about a piece of hardware that came out. PlayStation VR 2 reviews came out. what I'm seeing is it's being overall, and it's not necessarily game specific for these reviews. It's more like hardware. It's which is weird. You don't usually see a hardware review. Like you don't see like, hey, the Xbox Series X is out. Let's review it. 9 out of 10. You're like, okay, great. So it's
cool
weird.
Menu music.
What's that?
Cool menu music.
Yeah. I docked at a point because I don't like the startup sound when you hit the button. It's like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, I'm seeing positive things come out of it. It's a pricey piece of hardware. It's the same exact cost as the updated version of the PS5, which is $550, which is a lot of money. I think that's what, $1,100 for you to have a PS5 and use the PS VR 2. And then on top of that, their games, well, most games, I think they're heavy hitters. What is it? Horizon. What's the name of it?
Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain. $60 price tag. So you're roughly, I mean, after taxes and everything, you're over $200 or $1,200. Which is like for that game, the headset
To play one game. Yeah.
to play. Yeah. So one game, if you're like, wow, if you don't already have a PS5, and you have to
aren't
get
those still semi not easy to find?
I think I saw an article where they are actually in stores. Like you can see one sitting on a shelf for longer than, an hour or two.
Because at least at my job, the shelf's still empty.
Right. Excuse me. And I think that might help, but at the same time, is VR kind of still niche? I don't know. What's your opinion on that, Nick? What do you got?
I use it a lot.
Really?
I'm also privy on VR news. There's, if we can take a quick tangent, there's an app that was developed for VR called Big Screen. Oh my God. Did I learn how to talk, dude? It's called Big Screen VR, and it's pretty much just made to watch movies as if you were in the movie theater on a VR set.
Cool.
And you can like invite your friends over so you can watch it at the same time, kind of like whatever the VR world chat thing, community, whatever. There's a name for it.
Yeah, it's a
There
meta.
used to be something like that in Gary's mod.
Yeah,
Like
metaverse,
back
dude.
in the
I get
day.
it. Yeah, you guys
But,
get together in metaverse, and I get it.
They're developing their own VR set, and it's the lightest VR set ever. It comes in at 0.06 pounds.
Holy shit!
Right,
Wow.
that's a pair of sunglasses.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's capable of 2K resolution per eye. I think they were saying.
Interesting. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's just movies. That's all it'll be
Right.
capable
Yeah.
of
There's
doing.
no way it's going to be anything more.
But also they take your face shape, and so they form the goggles to your eye spacing and kind of like the curve, so it's comfortable instead of an all one size fits all.
We have a price tag on that.
Not yet. It's still in development.
Got you. Okay.
But-
That's really cool though. The custom fit is kind of nice. I know long sessions, from what I've been told of VR, anything. I don't think any of them are like pleasant to wear for multiple hours at a time. I myself have not ever tried VR. It's not the fact that I don't want to. I don't have the resources to try it around. You know what I mean? Like people here to try it and be like, "Oh, do you want to buy it?" I don't want to buy it and then hate it. That's not something I want to do, especially for $550.
As far as it still being niche, though, I think we're seeing a lot of insurgence of it due to TikTok.
What do you mean? Go a little bit further.
Like TikTok VR content
Okay.
blows up. Like it is huge.
Oh, with the mixed reality stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can see that. Yeah, I think, and also I think the quality of games coming out too helps, right? It doesn't make it so niche. It's like Beat Saber is cool. Like people love that. It's a great workout.
They put Resident Evil on that thing.
All right.
The Bone, I forget what it's called, but it's a physics game where you can just basically be Spider-Man, swing on a bridge, swing around and smack somebody with a pan.
Yeah,
Those are
fantastic. Yeah, those are fantastic. Yes, those are really good.
Having played VR a while ago when it was like first coming out, like you would get motion sickness really quickly, and it was jarring when you would take it off. I don't know if it's different for me now because I've used it more, but it feels less of that. Like I've played games that are like, oh, you're walking on a tightrope, so you have some kind of vertigo inherently.
Okay.
And it doesn't have that same feeling anymore of like, oh, I need to put it down and get sick. But I
Interesting.
still hear people getting dizzy. But
Yeah, I wonder if that's a tolerance thing, right? Maybe it could be
I
a
don't know.
tolerance thing, or it could be the technology is just it blends better rather than an abrupt, change or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
As far as being niche, I think they're the quality of games. Half-Life Alyx is a huge one that I use as a kind of a pretty good explanation for that. I think that could sell headsets, right? That could sell a headset for anybody who's like, I'm hoping Call of the Wild is the same way, but I don't Call of the Mountain, sorry. But I don't know if that's the case. I'm hoping. I have had to look more into it. Obviously the PSVR 2 they're not out yet. I think it comes a little bit maybe next week.
I think it's next week. Yeah.
But I'd be curious to see what else comes out, because the launch games, it was a lot of ported games from the original, PlayStation VR. So I'm hoping to see new ones come out and make it a little bit more affordable, that kind of stuff. I honestly don't even know how it hooks up. It's still connected to the console, but it's not wireless by any means, right?
I have no idea. I haven't looked into it.
I would say, because maybe that is what leads to the price increase, right? And I would assume that it has to be wired. Which one do you have?
I've got the Oculus 2. It can be wired or wireless.
Got you. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
And obviously you prefer wireless, I'm assuming, just because it doesn't feel like, you got anything.
Yeah, I get like 3 hours of battery life on it,
That's
something
not
like
bad.
that. Which
That's
is
really
like
good.
when you're stressing your neck like that, you don't want to play for longer than that.
Right. And you're gonna get uncomfortable at that point anyway. So
yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, like I said, I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm hoping VR isn't niche and I want to get into it. I've thought about it many, many times of, do I get it? Do I not get it? And I just haven't pulled the trigger on any of those. So, Hermes, you see yourself ever buying an actual headset down the line?
It would depend on how far the games go. Like if we get something, which we're getting close, but like is a Gary's Mod experience in VR, something sandboxy that I can fully
Like a
get
creative
into?
thing? Or
Yeah.
okay, I got you. So there's something, if you'd be pretty into it if you took Gary's Mod and like were something in a VR experience where you could just like almost
Yeah,
copy
and
paste,
we're
right?
close. There's a lot of very similar things, and there's also a whole subcategory of VR art that is a thing.
Oh, there were some cool art programs and music programs
Really?
for entry level. Like there's a spray painting one where like people actually make like good art.
I think I've
my
seen
God,
some of
cool.
those before. Definitely on TikTok, if not anywhere else.
But yeah, with that, I could see myself in the future doing it. But I've also always been a big advocate of augmented reality.
Just the HoloLens? Was it HoloLens? Right? Wasn't that kind of
yeah,
augmented?
HoloLens is like such a great idea, and like it's almost there. But like, if I could connect my glasses to my phone, right? Like, think Tony Stark, and then have like maps, just like I can just follow the arrow in my glasses. That would be so sick.
That'd be really
I would
cool.
buy those so
That'd be very, very
fast.
Where
cool.
were you when Snapchat had their glasses?
Yeah.
I know, right? I almost bought them many times.
No way. Oh, I forgot about the Snapchat glasses. Wow, that's pretty great. So yeah, I think PSVR 2 can be successful.
Yeah.
The price tag is just a little bit out of, I don't know, for the price of a PS5, right? It almost seems, I don't know. I keep making the argument, but like if you're gonna buy a computer that is VR ready, a lot of them are these days. That's still a pretty price tag.
It still feels like we're in an infancy. So like we're still like finding the limits of where we can go with it, and then we can come down in price because then we can optimize later.
I agree. Okay.
So
yeah, I honestly, I think it's going to be successful eventually. It's just going to lead up to it, right? It's like, hey, here's the initial launch. We're going to fix everything. We're going to make it better, optimize it, like you said, and then it'll lower the price potentially when you get there as well, and then see where we're at. Okay, next, Hermes, let's watch the Atomic Heart trailer here. So If you don't know what Atomic Heart is, it is a Russian, I guess, eccentric kind of style. That's where it takes place in Russia. It is a. If you're a fan of BioShock, is kind of the best way I can explain how this combat and how this game's going to play out. If you like
Joy,
BioShock, you should like this. What's up?
if you want to send the link in chat, that way Nick and I can play at the same time as you,
Yeah, you got it.
because this is always an adventure.
That's true. That always is. All right. Yes. If you guys also want to watch it later or anything like that, it is in chat. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to check this out. And there's a reason we want to look at this. Hermes special requested this one, so we're going to check it out. I'm very much looking forward to this game. I have been since I saw anything about it. It's very much BioShock, and if you know me, BioShock's my favorite series. BioShock 1 is my favorite game, I think, of all time, at least easily top 3. By the way, I'm coming around to Tetris being in my top 5. Like, I don't know why, but it's just
Really?
it's just top 5 games of all time. It's just, I don't know. I've lately just been on a huge Tetris 99 kick on the Switch with my wife, and it's been a ton of fun.
That's good.
All right, but here, let's go ahead and actually, I already had it up. What am I doing? And we'll swatch over here. That's not what we wanted. We wanted this. All right, here we go. So this is, and if you don't know who Jensen Ackles is, you should know who that is. You absolutely
beautiful
should know
boy.
who that is. He plays Soldier Boy in on The Boys on Amazon. He was also in Supernatural.
Dean in Supernatural.
Yeah, a bunch of other stuff. He's a pretty popular dude. If you've ever been to Comic-Cons or if you've seen a Comic-Con or interviews, I'm sure you've stumbled across something that he's done. So let's go ahead and take a look. I think I've got audio. We should be good. And we'll look at it.
The music.
My favorite shit.
How are we going to survive the robot apocalypse?
Watch and learn.
Oh,
Put him on my team. Him and Nick Offerman wrote Zombie Apocalypse.
yeah. Good to go.
That's how you do it. The atomic way.
God, I'm so excited for this game.
I really love that they were just like, hey, just play Dean.
Yeah, just do what you've always done, right?
You know that thing you're good at? Do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really soon.
Yeah. And
Oh, wow.
not that I have ever talked about it before, but don't look at the emulation videos. Don't look at those. That's not anything I've watched in the past. Don't. We're gonna stop it, dude. I don't want to watch that. I don't emulate. FBI, leave me alone.
He was on Days of Our Lives. Wow.
Yep.
Days of Our Lives. Who's not a big soap opera fan, you know?
You're
That
lying
game's
if you
going to
say
come
no.
out day one, Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you don't even have to worry about it. PC Game Pass or Xbox, whatever it is. So I'm not a huge fan of Game Pass, as we all know. But you should get it. Just, you know.
Oh, quick tangent on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Did you see the article where they were accused of like squeezing developers' money?
Don't.
And then
Even.
they came back and said yes sometimes, but most of the time no, it leads to more game sales.
Yeah. Do you know why they're saying these things? Because they want the Activision, Blizzard, and King thing to go just right through. Like, look, feel bad for
Yeah.
us. Give us these huge companies, and we want in our wallet.
Oh,
But
boy, that was an interesting move right there.
It is, right?
The Last of Us is doing great, so You probably don't need more money.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of reason was that?
Yeah. You don't need more money. Last of Us is great. Look at it.
Yeah, so is their camera business.
Yeah. The whole thing. You know what's funny about that specific buy or purchase or whatever is a lot of this stuff isn't normally public information. Like a lot of these things that are being said, these documents and things normally isn't played out in public ever. But because this one is, everyone's getting like, oh, look at all these stupid, funny things they're saying. You're like, every company ever has said these things to get these things to go through. So
yeah,
it's just being amplified by the fact that we can all see it, right?
Yeah.
So Hermes, are you playing Atomic Heart?
Oh,
Just curious. I mean, be honest with me. The trailer could do whatever it wants for you, but like,
I have promised myself that I am perfecting Hogwarts Legacy.
okay,
So I will play it after that.
got you. Okay, so you're gonna 100%
100%.
Hogwarts. Got you. Okay,
Yes.
that's fair. That's how you get your money's worth. You know, so that's how you feel confident and like I got every single penny out of this game. Knick Knack, that's not really your kind of game, is it?
No, I'm probably not gonna play.
There's some puzzles in there.
Yeah, well, cool.
I don't know.
Good for that.
There's Wizard's Chess. It's sick.
Yeah, I don't see myself playing that,
That's fair.
even though I have Game Pass.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't have to pay for it. I mean, you already pay for the service, but don't worry about it. We'll talk about that.
I'd
Some
rather
other
play
time.
Grounded.
Yeah.
You know,
What? We should start a Grounded. We should start playing that.
Oh,
That'd
dude,
be
we
fun.
should play that together.
Split
That'd
screen
be sick.
plays.
That's yeah, we should do that.
That'd be a fun game for us to all play together.
Holy
Nick with
shit.
some shade.
Ooh, just a little teeny tiny shade.
There's a little shade there, but that's okay. It's deserved. Oh
We've been
man.
busy.
So I'm gonna play it. Huge fan. I got Russian BioShock vibes. That's obviously why I'm gonna play it. Do I have am I gonna play it day one? Probably not. I don't even know if I'm gonna stream the game. I might just keep that one to myself. We'll see what happens. Outside of that game and the trailer itself, I can tell you though that there was a little bit of a stink, maybe, if you even want to call it that, if it's not even going to qualify as something like that. But Mundfish is the developers for that game. They were asked many times about the Ukraine war, Russia, and if they condone or support Ukraine or anything like that. And they never actually physically came out and said exactly what people wanted to hear. Either yes, we support the, invading Russia or invading Ukraine, or if we don't support it, they never laid it out. They said, we're a pro-peace kind of company, and that should have been enough for people. It wasn't, unfortunately. I most recently saw Co Carnage come out. He put out like a video, a 9-minute video. He said he is going to be playing it. He knows that there's a little bit of a sensitive topic. But he's going to donate about $10,000 to Ukraine and, upfront for all that. And then he's also going to put links and kind of do a charity like stream, and anything towards that stream when he's playing is going to go towards that fund as well. So it's just stuff like that. I didn't know it was that huge where people are making this kind of stance, but apparently that's happening. But what would the gaming industry be like without a controversial game, right? They're like, Hogwarts had their time. And Atomic Heart's like, well, hold my beer, I guess, right?
Well, because they are a Russian studio, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
they're
Russia?
in Russia. Yeah,
And you would definitely not want to say anything.
yeah, you're doing yourself.
Why they can find you out there? Yeah, man.
You're not doing yourself any favors if you're like, yeah, we support Ukraine because of where we're located, and you're probably not.
Man.
You're going to be in jail the next week, if not the next day. So,
or just gone.
Or there's those cases as well. But yeah, just kind of a shitty situation.
Yeah.
I feel like cancel culture lately has gotten real fucking stupid. Like
Not picking the battles very well, right?
Yeah, just this is a super hot take, but shut the fuck up and difference the art from the artist. Like, for the love of God.
Easier for some than others. I will agree. I tend to think I'm okay at doing that, but
There's also different magnitudes of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There's like a weird line for me, and I think that's an individual choice, right? I don't think anybody should be, hey, why are you supporting
this is one
this
of those
much?
this is one of those particular topics that gets me incredibly upset.
Which one? Just cancer culture in general?
Just cancel culture and
Gotcha.
like what people choose to cancel. Some of it's just the stupidest shit.
Right.
I think it's also supported by the fact that the internet is the loudest voice, but it's not everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, and that's for literally everything that ever happens on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a big deal on the internet because it's on the internet, not because it's a big deal.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is a tough landscape to move around.
Yeah, and there's not that I'm not trying to say that this isn't a serious issue, because obviously the Ukraine war is obviously serious for a ton of people who live there. But there are certain points where you're like, why do you have to hear it, right? Why do you have to hear the answer that you are looking for? Why can't you just either A, assume, or B, it doesn't have to carry that much weight in your everyday life, right? As somebody who's not directly affected by it, yes, potentially crazy conspiracy, implications of nuclear war is going to affect pretty much everybody, but not to this extent yet. You don't need to be like, well, you didn't like it and you don't support us directly. You didn't say the words I wanted to hear. I am not buying your game and nobody else should. Like that is
the interview. The interview is still a movie that went out even after threats of war from certain somebody.
Exactly.
So.
Yes. Right. And that's God, that movie. Oh man, that movie.
That was a big deal. And we had Papa Seth Rogen say, nope.
No, here it comes. It's coming out. Oh God, that's so good. But yeah, I think I'm a big fan. I'm going to be huge. I think I'm going to play that game. It's going to be on Game Pass, so I'm not directly supporting anything, but also I am supporting a game that I've been looking forward to for a long time. So that's the way I look at it. That's my breakdown. I'm not declaring my support for Russia or Ukraine, even though I obviously I do support Ukraine, but it's not to the point where I need to put a flag back here and announce it to the world and drive around with my car and having a big giant sticker across it. Right. I just don't feel like I need to do it. It's not my place. Ukraine's not going to see my sticker right on my car or anything. So it's like,
they're busy.
Yeah. They're doing things and keep doing those things. Right. That's all you can do.
My thing is like, it's so easy to be a keyboard warrior nowadays. Just let people form their own decisions and stay out of it.
Yeah. And I have zero problem. I have zero problem with being informed. That is much different than yelling your information to somebody else.
Completely different approach than making a website to target Twitch streamers who are playing a game.
To find out who you're following has played a game. I saw that. Yeah. He's talking. Hermes, tell him what you're talking about. Just so people are aware.
I am talking about. I'm gonna be a little broad, but bad actors in a certain community made a website to hate raid and tell people who were streaming Hogwarts Legacy to then go and like tell them how much of a bad person they were and just spread all over hate just to scare people off of the game, which is ridiculous. Do not do that.
Also didn't work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw girlfriend reviews, I think, was the...
Yeah, I did see that.
Because the website was taken down before that, but I think they were the first big channel to feel the impacts of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not okay. Like that should not happen.
Nope, it shouldn't. But
especially if you were trying to be like, if you are doing the opposite of what you were trying to achieve, right? Because you are turning people off of your ideals and feelings.
Yeah.
Because now
doesn't make any sense. Everyone thinks they have the right answer, and that's not always the case.
It baffles my mind.
Yeah.
That's where I'll leave that.
All right, so I have one more video. We're all familiar with the Souls series and FromSoft games for the most part. Some of us more than others. Some of us
kind of the guy who they made Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, Breath of the Wild was the first video game created. then everything after and even before Breath of the Wild
Yeah.
was influenced by Breath of the Wild. That's my takeaway.
That's huge.
It's kind of insane.
This
I don't.
joke's never gonna die.
That joke's not going to go anywhere because my disdain for that game is it's really high. But this is a game called Liza P. It is inspired by the familiar story Pinocchio. Liza P is an action Souls-like game set in a cruel, dark Belle world. Fan fest. Oh nope, I don't need that one. It's a Souls-like. We've heard that term. It's a genre in itself. But I wanted to take a look at it because I think they have their they just came out with a gameplay trailer from IGN's FanFest 2023. So I wanted to kind of highlight it a little bit. It's a game I'm looking forward to. And I think it's the closest we're going to get to a Bloodborne 2. So that isn't actually Bloodborne 2. That's my point. So we'll hop over here. We'll take a look. I don't know if you guys familiar about this game. At least have you seen it?
I've not
Heard of it?
seen this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, that link in
I
chat.
watched. Oh, sorry. I watched launch trailer,
Okay.
and then Thymesia came out, or however you say it.
Mhm.
And I put my effort into that instead of this.
Did you
But,
play it?
I mean,
You played
no.
Thymesia?
no, I watched someone play it.
I wanted
My
to see
God.
if you had any thoughts.
This was the year of Pinocchio, wasn't it? When they
2020.
first announced this, there were like 2 other projects of Pinocchio
Yeah,
in entertainment
Yeah.
that also came out same time.
isn't there a movie?
There was a movie. There
Was
were
it
2
Apple
movies,
TV.
I think.
Apple TV, maybe.
There was a Netflix
Yeah,
something.
it was Guillermo del Toro's
Yes.
Pinocchio movie.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there was something else, Pinocchio. But it's just
Man,
ooh,
you're not kidding. Your Pinocchio
for-
is insane. Who would have
good
thought?
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still killing it. I love it.
He's still a real boy.
It's 2-minute trailer, not too bad. It's got gameplay in it, so you can get a kind of a look of the feel, the art style, and everything else. But I'm very pleased with what I've seen so far. This one just got me more excited, but I wanted to share with you guys. So let's do that.
You want to throw the link in chat?
Yeah, you got it. Oh, can't do that from full screen, can I? Link in chat. Boom. I think that's the right one. Let's see. Hey, it is. Look at that. Don't play it. Don't do that. Oh, don't say that either. Okay, here we go. So this is Liza P official gameplay trailer from the IGN FanFest. Let's go. That looks good.
I might be asking too much of you,
Oh, the narrator voice.
Is that you?
but I don't
I
have
wish.
a choice. Only you can do this.
Holy
This
shit.
is the Pinocchio I expected in Shrek 2.
Help me.
Imagine. Imagine, dude.
Timothy Chalamet.
Finally.
Yeah. I said the same
We
thing.
meet,
Yep.
son.
God damn it.
The stage is set.
The light shines brightest in the darkest of times.
You're not talking.
All right, buddy, I'm here for you. Don't worry.
How is this? It's just.
Oh, is this the first time we've seen the UI?
I think so.
It's just Bloodborne 2.
Yeah. Oh, it's clean though.
You can lean on me if you want.
Cool enemy design. Oh, cool transition.
Dude.
Fulfill.
Holy shit, dude. I'm very excited for it. I don't know. What do you guys am I right? Bloodborne 2?
Yeah,
This
it is
might
Bloodborne
be
2.
the first Souls like I play.
Let's fucking no, not true. Not play.
Play.
You played
through.
Dark Souls. Yes. I
What?
say you played Dark Souls, but
I remember on release trailer, I was mad skeptical because the only gameplay we saw was behind them, only walking forward. We didn't get to see any actual movement.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
And so
know
I was
what you're
like, is that gonna be how I play this game? That I hate that.
there's a walking simulator through.
Yeah, but like now we get more freedom on camera, stuff like that. I'm
Right.
excited for it.
The
Looks
UI,
good.
I think, is if you can't tell, that's what Souls likes usually do. They're like, well, if we
Mhm.
just do what they do, we have a green bar, we have a red bar, we also have a blue bar.
Yep.
And you have the four in the bottom right. You've got the 4 boxes that are each different things. It's a recipe that works. I think the most exciting part for this is the enemy design, and kind of that Victorian kind of steampunk, right, kind of thing. It feels really, really cool. I'm hoping it lives and actually controls as well as it looks.
I'm gonna say it, dude. Daddy Geppetto.
Voice
I'm
what
sorry.
is it? Performance of the year, right? Gonna win it at the Game Awards. Look out. Well, actually, it's probably gonna go to Breath of the Wild, but so I'm very excited. It's gonna be good. I think this one also comes to Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken. So
Ooh.
I don't know if there's a release date quite yet. I don't remember seeing one. But this is gonna be a Game Pass game. So 2023 for Game Pass is kind of nuts right now. It doesn't have an official, just has a 2023 release date. So things to look forward to.
Dude, that Unreal Engine 5 though, looking crisp on those. If those are in-game cutscenes,
Yeah.
because I mean, I don't know if you've seen the demos of Unreal 5.
Yes. Oh my god. Yes.
Powerful.
Yep. And I think I would love to see. Did you guys play the demo, the Matrix like city demo at all? Did you guys touch that? The tech thing? You did, Hermes?
Yep.
Oh, were you impressed?
Yes.
Good God. So Nick, if you aren't familiar, what you could do is like you played a small Matrix kind of game. There was a cinematic, but it went from cinematic into a car chase, and it had different stuff, and they showed all the explosions and the actual like high speed stuff. I think it was done by the Coalition because that's who I think did a lot of those tech things for them. Is that was the developer that was chosen, and they're the people who make Gears of War. But it was good. It made me want a Matrix game. Like that was like what it was, a full-fledged, just give me a Matrix game. Let's see what happens. And I thought that's where it was leading. Usually these projects don't just end. Usually they're for something because it feels like it's wasted stuff, right?
Was it not a movie promo?
It wasn't. No, it was nothing to do with the movie. Yeah, that's what was weird, right? Or maybe
it was around the same time, but I don't think it was a movie promo.
I definitely
se.
don't feel like Keanu Reeves was anywhere in my thing at all. So, and I'm pretty sure I would have remembered that. But at the end, you had the free reign once you did like the cutscene and that whole action sequence. Is you had the option to fly around and like change the day and the night and like take photos and like just do all sorts of lighting tricks, and you could use your character, take them all the way up to the top and the sky, and just it was really cool. It was kind of nice to just get that freedom to mess with stuff and see what kind you could see. You could mess with the NPCs, you could turn them off, you could turn them on, you could put them at max. There's kind of a cool tech demo thing to check out, and you don't get a lot of insight on those things, which is cool. So last but not least, let's give a little bit of a preview, and then we can continue this conversation right into next week. I think that's a beautiful crossover. Is I want to get into the greatest video game characters discussion, obviously for the three of us. It can be the same, not usually going to be the case. If your favorite one isn't necessarily your greatest. I have a couple. I have one off the top of my head, and I know Hermes is probably going to be upset at me for taking this one. But probably. I'm going to say it. What's that?
Probably, maybe.
And it's GLaDOS. So I think it's absolutely 100%
okay.
A fantastic character. I think easily deserves to be on most people's lists in the top 10, if not a majority of the top 5. So I think that's
GLaDOS and Wheatley.
I was gonna say Wheatley.
Right. That's the thing, though, is I think there's a strong take for Wheatley as well. So
Yeah.
one
Ooh,
game, two
okay.
characters is, it seems like, and here's the other thing too, is I kind of want to set parameters for the conversation, but greatest doesn't necessarily have to mean the most, a lot of franchises and stuff are built off of that. Master Chief, right? Link, Mario, Sonic, Kirby, whatever you want to do, you throw anybody at it. But like, if somebody I would make a very hot take is I don't think Mario deserves to be anywhere in this conversation for the greatest video game character, because there's no connection with that person other than the game itself, right? That's my opinion. I would not put this man, this Italian plumber, in my top 10. Obviously that's my opinion. I would love to hear if you guys have a counter argument for that. But I would also say the same as a huge fan of Kirby. I would see the same thing for Kirby. I haven't heard Kirby say a lick of dialogue except, just noises. So iconic, yes. Greatest, no. That's kind of where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like,
So we need something like fleshed out, like, I don't have to get a beer with this video game character, but like, if I was end of the world having to face up against them, I'd want it to be like the coolest of the baddies.
Kinda, yeah. Like, who had the biggest impact to you? And that can even still be Mario and Kirby and Sonic. Granted, Sonic talks and the other two don't, but like, well, Mario does, just very, very poorly. He sounds
so much like Chris Pratt. Also, I don't know if you noticed that.
I know. Where
My
did that come
God.
from, right? Oh, that's gonna be a good. I can't wait to see that movie, though. I
It's
just
gonna be
can't.
good. It's
I
gonna
can't
be
wait to see it.
It's gonna be
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
So good. But yeah, a lot of Breezy pointed out Ghost, which is Modern Warfare, which is kind of which is a pretty recognizable character. But yeah, this conversation, I'm gonna lay out the parameters, but do you guys have any, without researching off the top of your head, where this would be, one or two who you go to no matter what, how much research goes into it, thought process, just like, this one is one that I would think goes into it. Nick Nack, I'm gonna go with you first, since I took Hermes' thunder.
Yeah. So first one of I think is one of the coolest characters in the JRPG space, Riku from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Nice.
I just like he's got the bad boy persona. He's got David Gallagher, who's the voice actor, who is also this guy apparently.
Me, yes, definitely.
And like he gets to have a moment where he also becomes, spoiler alert, the bad guy.
Okay.
And grows from that. And that, like, when you get to create a round character like that, it's just such a more fun adventure to learn about them. So I like, and he's just like, they make him do cool stuff. He does
really cool stuff, right? So is there is that throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, or is that just one game
he's present in all of the modern day stories.
Modern day stories being
in Kingdom Hearts. So that's oh boy. That is all of them except for Birth by Sleep. I don't know if he actually makes a real appearance in Coded, even though it's a modern one. And then point 2 and point 8. Because those are specifically about a different character. So everything from 1 forward.
Everything from 1 forward. Okay, so
yeah.
Okay.
I think he's in was that 7 games or something like that?
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Hermes, do you have
Maybe
one
6.
off the top of your head?
I'm looking for the name of this character, but there are two that stick with me from left field games that you wouldn't make me think that I would think of.
Okay.
The first one that I know for sure is Jonathan Irons, the CEO of Atlas Corporation in Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
Which, think what you will about the actor for him, but oh my god, that was a good bad guy.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yeah. No, that's my favorite. Separating artist from the art.
Yep.
That's my favorite Call of Duty villain is Kevin Spacey as Jonathan Irons, which is crazy to me because you had people such as even the iconic ones. Shepard is a huge, General Shepard from the Modern Warfare series. Just sticking in that universe. And then also the more recent one. Why can't I think of his name? Jon Snow. What's his name? What's that guy's name? The actor?
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington. There it is. Those, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're still recognizable faces. And I think, and I absolutely think that Jonathan Irons is my favorite Call of Duty villain. So like, I actually really dig that choice that you made there. Another one for me. Go ahead. If you got more, go ahead.
The other one that I have is Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's a modern.
I love
one.
how that character grows throughout that game. It's one of my favorite things.
I think. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic one. Say what you will about the game for what it was when it came out, but now in that story, after you play the story, I think a lot of people have to agree. Like that's a solid, just character in general, right? There's a lot of roller coasters.
Phantom Liberty is gonna.
Oh my.
Just. Oh man, you might have to change it to Idris Elba's character.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, Adam, put him on the Mount Rushmore. I think another one for me, and this is kind of more iconic, because I don't necessarily feel like it's a great character. There's emotional stuff, and I think there it is, but like Master Chief has been a huge part of my entire gaming kind of like landscape. For somebody who doesn't talk a lot, you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird to me that you can form a connection, not a connection, but like somebody who's made an impact for my entire majority of my gaming life is somebody like that. Just a Spartan who's kind of like doing his thing, this broody military man that just kind of, I have a mission, I'm going to do it. This is what I'm doing. But like, you get into the whole relationship with Cortana, and that's kind of where I teeter, is like, is it Cortana more so than it is him that I prefer, character wise? But I think either one of those is a pick 'em for me. Those two are fantastic. And that entire storyline is pretty great. But I think I think we could do two lists here. So the greatest of all time, and those parameters could be Mario, it could be, Kirby, the icons, the people who should be on Mount Rushmore, if not times two, right? Top 10 even. I think that conversation, and then our favorite ones, is probably something that requires a little bit more research, because there's people for example, Hi-Fi Rush, Cinnamon, that fucking robot is easily one of my favorite characters ever. Like, it is the stupidest thing, but it is also the greatest thing about that game. Is Cinnamon is so good. But it's not by any means an iconic character. Nobody else would probably feel that way, but for whatever reason, I had that takeaway from that. So
I've got one that I don't know which list it belongs on.
Okay.
Joel from The Last of Us.
Yep, I was gonna say Joel and Ellie.
They're so cool characters. They're so well crafted, and they grow in a way that a character should to make them interesting.
Right. You just
but
is it like, iconic? Was it the game that you loved so much, but you could remove the two characters, or is that what you mean? Or
I just don't know. Like, they're not my favorite, and I don't know if they're iconic, but I love them as characters. And like, maybe they're iconic just because they're in the limelight right now.
Right? Do you think that's okay? Here, let me rephrase that question.
If Ellie was just a character placeholder, Joel would still be the same,
right? Whether
it was her or not. In my eyes, at least.
Do they hold that same weight separated? Is my, I guess.
Oh, I think they do. Yeah.
Okay. So like, if you played a game,
they can compete to each other. Yeah.
Got you. So if you played a game, that removes itself, you have zero information about the first two, right? It takes Ellie after all the shit she went through with Joel, and after. Do you think that's still a solid character that you want to know more about, kind of a thing? And I guess that leads into the greatest, right? Or maybe that is a favorite kind of a thing, because that's subjective, really, what it comes down to, which characters you want to learn more about. So maybe is that kind of, did I phrase that a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of what I mean.
I think Ellie would be able to compete better for reasons. But just Joel's journey was just so rad, man. Like, and I get why people say he hate. Like, maybe that's why I want to have him compete on the Mount Rushmore so bad. It's because people hate him, and you're like, well, why do you hate him? He's the most humanizing thing we've seen in a long time.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my God. Yes.
Of course he would make a bad decision because it was like,
Because we all would. You all would.
You definitely would.
Why would you not make this selfish decision in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Oh my God. Yeah, that kind of like, I would have done this differently. Shut the fuck up. No, you wouldn't have.
So you just, I think maybe that's why I like it so much. A character with flaws, and the flaws dictate actions instead of, whoop, here's some plot armor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Speaking on that, I have 2 from Rockstar Games.
Okay.
Let me guess
Both.
one.
Okay, go ahead.
John Marston.
No.
Arthur Morgan? Is it
I was
Arthur
going to
Morgan?
say Arthur Morgan
Uh-huh.
and Trevor Phillips.
Trevor's crazy.
If you want a crazy character, you take Trevor Phillips.
That is...
He is unhinged, man. Yeah.
It is such a well done, well acted, well written character. Like all the lines, you have no idea. You have no clue what is going to be said after you hear a sentence. You have like no idea where the next sentence is going to go. And I think, dude,
there's
Trevor's
a helicopter we're flying.
Yeah, Trevor is a fantastic choice. Yep. Oh my God, Trevor is so good.
That's very good.
So that's another thing we got to think about too, though, is these older characters. You know, you've got Samus, until recently, Cloud, right? Because
Sam Fisher.
Sam. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I knew
Fox
it was coming.
McCloud.
Yes, Sam Fisher.
Nice.
Absolutely. Sam Fisher. I'm gonna wear these one day. We'll do it eventually, but we'll see.
Damn.
They're really not fun to wear.
Split screen after dark.
It's
Just kidding. Split screen in the dark.
In the dark. There we go. But yeah, that's my point of like the older characters, Mario, Kirby, Sonic, Samus, Cloud before the remake came out, right? Is the text only kind of not voice acted characters then were kind of hard to, they can be heartwarming but like how do you do that for, you know what I'm trying to say is like how do you give a character that much?
That's when you love a book so much, but your idea doesn't match the idea of a director's version of the movie. And so you say the book is better than the movie because your idea is different. Yeah,
and they put their vision was, their iteration was different than what you would have done. You didn't see. That's why books, I think, are very fascinating to talk to people who have read through a book and then ask somebody in like a book club kind of a thing. But that's a good point is, what conversation we just had about?
I'm excited for Hermes' little brain blast.
I know. I saw his head jerk back. I'm waiting for it.
Characters, and I saw one. I'm like, oh, I agree so much.
But I think it was 50 Shades of Grey, right? That was a huge those books, right? And when she saw the actor of who was picked, it was one of those like, oh, that's not what I pictured him as, because you interpret what those things mean to you. You get a picture of a character in your head versus actually putting it to screen, which is kind of crazy. Hermes, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Okay. This is left field again. Dog meat from Fallout and dog from Fable 2.
Yes, dog from Fable 2.
Dogs in video games?
Yeah, I think pets just in general hold the number one spot.
They have
right?
so much character because like,
well, dog meat has plot armor, right? Technically, with the you can't die kind of a thing, right? So you can never really feel that emotion of like, oh shit, I just got dog meat killed. Like that's kind of how it is. But I definitely agree that dog meat should be up there. At least favorite. That's a good one. God, man. Animals in general, it would be so difficult to pick. Just, oh man.
I have a indie game selection. Zoe from Road 96.
You see,
I agree.
See, I would
Hmm.
I don't know because I don't know the character. But that's also part of this is I can research that person and research the character and obviously not get the full extent, but get new characters I had no idea about before. It's kind of another part of this. Man, there's so many. I think it's going to be a good conversation to flesh out. We can build maybe a top 10, argue about it, kind of do all that stuff. It'll be a good time.
You'll appreciate this. So I'm just looking up character lists right now, right?
Yeah.
And the number 11th most iconic characters in video gaming, according to Games Radar, is the Z-shaped Tetris block.
The Z-shaped No shot.
I can't believe it's not the straight one.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
It's got to be the 5. There's no way.
We don't look forward to any other block but the
Exactly.
4 straight block.
That's what you do. You build up. You build up your stuff.
Oh,
Speaking
You
of
build a
Tetris,
palace for them to come visit.
exactly. Yeah, you're building this thing up, and you're like, you know what? Look what I built for you. And then they're like, thank you.
Wow, Z
5
block
lines.
my ass.
5
Get
lines
outta
disappear.
here.
Oh my god, man. Oh
Oh, Ezio. Ooh.
Yeah, some of these are solid.
yeah, no. There's some really good ones.
Oh, Nathan Drake. Oh God, you're right. We do need to.
We do need to do this, right? We absolutely need it. And I think that's also is we've got that diverse, I think, catalog of characters. Mr. AA, Mr. Indie, and then Mr. whatever the fuck I feel like playing at a certain time, I guess.
Mhm.
You know what we bring back?
Uh-oh.
The tier list.
Tier list.
We
We
do
should
this
do
in
tier
a
list.
tier list
Tier list
style.
would be great. That'd be very easy to do. I could hold on, dude.
We're doing this.
tier list maker. I think that's a thing. Is that the
Yeah.
website? Tier maker, right?
Yeah. There's a hyphen in it or something, right? Remember that? Am I making stuff up?
I think you're making
I
it
don't
up.
Hey, hey, what did they say? Hey, shoot, I can't remember the
Arnold.
joke now. No, I was gonna say turn off Xbox, but I don't remember who you speak to turn off the Xbox.
Just Xbox.
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Who did? Someone did that in a TikTok.
Cortana as well.
Is it? Yeah,
Oh,
with
I
it,
just activated Cortana.
they were in a COD match or something, and someone was hot micing, and so they just screamed, "Hey, turn off Xbox!"
Mhm.
and then they quit the game.
It's hey Xbox, turn off is what it is.
It's
That's what you
really
would
just
say.
Hey Xbox.
Yep.
I was really trying to hey Google, hey Siri, what is it?
You can do that now. Actually, there was
Really?
an update.
Mhm.
Yeah, on
They-
Google
oh my
Home can
God.
access your Xbox now.
We've gone too far.
Go back. Go back. I was looking at real quick. I might have to make one unless I can find one. 250 video game characters. Hold on, maybe there's a list here. Oh, boy.
That's
Shit.
significant.
Oh boy, I found a list. A lot
Hell
of different
yeah.
ones. And if that's the thing too, if I can save or download this, I should be able to create our own kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Because there's going to be people that we think of that they don't, right? These are pre-made ones. So
Well, I've
Um,
I've made one for you before. So
video game character ones.
no, it was video games that you've played. we put 'em in a
Yes,
tier
yes,
list.
yes, yes.
So
So
there
it's
are ways to edit those.
right. So yeah, you can also edit and also make your own, which is cool too. So I think that's got to be the plan for one of these episodes coming up. Depending on how the weeks go, news wise, we'll kind of plan on that. I think it'd be a good time. I know Hermes, you want to do Mount Rushmore of video games as well, or at least a split
Bracket,
screen.
but yeah,
Yeah, a split screen
the
top
split
10.
screen
and-
bracket.
yeah, that'd be really, really fun. Do you guys have anything else for this Friday evening that you guys want to talk about? Run by anything exciting coming up for you guys, stream wise or content or anything else?
No, think it's a chill weekend.
Yeah. I think am I missing something? I think I'm good. I'm good.
D&D coming back this Sunday.
You're right.
How long you guys
Be
been off?
live. Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Nice. Cool. That'll be exciting. Are you excited? I heard you guys talking about something. I'm not going to spoil
Oh,
anything
hell
or
yeah.
anything, but you guys looking
There's
forward
gonna
to
be
it?
some drama. If you like drama and you like adventuring in new places, come visit.
Oh, there it is. That's on Captain Rockhab's channel over there. So if you guys haven't been over there or do not follow yet, and you're interested in catching some of the D&D stuff they have going on, I think it's how many sessions have you guys had of this?
Oh God.
We're in the 30s, aren't we?
I think
No.
so.
Are we past that?
If not
Yeah.
like 40 something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we've been playing for a little over a year now.
Holy shit, that's actually insane. When I didn't realize that. But if you guys get a chance, hop over there, Captain Rockab's channel. That'd be awesome. Catch some of that good stuff, that good content. He's a perfect lad anyways. As it goes, you'll have a good time over there no matter what. I don't think for myself, I don't really have a whole lot. I'm going to play probably pro clubs on FIFA 23 tonight, maybe tomorrow. It's usually what I do on the weekends. And then coming up, I kind of want to check out Like a Dragon. Ishin. Co-Carnage is like a card in there that you can get as a power-up, which is insane to me.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. They did a whole thing with different content creators of giving them an ability and like a card that you can use for
That's cool
specific stuff,
shit.
which is cool, right? So I kind of want to check that out. I have never played a Yakuza game in the past. I started with 0. Didn't get very far just because those games are very long, but we'll see how that goes. Also, next week we have coming out, we just watched a trailer earlier, Atomic Heart, coming out on Game Pass on the 21st. So that's exciting.
Sons of the Forest next Thursday?
Is
I
it?
think is when it comes out.
Next Thursday? That's pretty. Wait,
so.
early access, right?
Yep. Early access comes out. Yep. February 23rd, next Thursday.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Well, that'll be a good time. Are they launching with multiplayer right off the bat? You know.
Yes. You know what? Sure. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
You already
Guess what? You can't prove us wrong.
And if they change it, then they changed it between now and then.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
They didn't tell us first is the problem. I'm just curious because I remember you guys playing that on Captain Rockab's channel, at least the first one. So that was a lot of cool stuff happened there. I know you guys were kind
I'll
of
be playing that.
You guys were
I'll be playing that.
rogue
We were.
survivors, which was
Yep.
awesome.
Oh, we did. We did abscond pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah, but other for that, I think it's just I'll do some more. I think I'm gonna do some more hauls this weekend. Collecting of video games as I do. Yeah, and then next week starts the whole Game Pass 2023 insanity. So we'll see how that goes. But cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate you gentlemen for joining the show and having a great conversation. Thank you so much. If you want to follow them, you can look at the title, click just hover over it. Man, I'm back to my boomer ways. Just hover over it. You can drop a follow to usually Knickknack and Hermes Akumu. Just, on all their socials. I think you guys are the same everywhere. So that's kind of convenient. If you want to join or support or join any of the socials and follow me anywhere, you can find me at the Jordan Beach on any of those as well. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all that fantastic stuff. But we're going to be back again next week. Hopefully, if we have all researched enough. If not, then we will continue the conversation of our favorite video game characters and the greatest. We'll do a top 10 tier list, hopefully get some stuff together and do that. That'll be exciting. We'll probably have an argument or two and probably have to make some compromises, but we'll figure it out. It's okay.
The goat from Goat Simulator.
The goat simulator. Goat. Got it. Yes. Number 11. Sorry. Doesn't quite make the list, but it'll be a good conversation. Hopefully you guys join us then. As you can see at the newly fixed lower third, it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'd love for you guys to join us then. But other than that, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for the conversation. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. We'll see you later. Thanks everybody. Bye.